Hi cakey friends, how are you all doing today? This is Rose from Couture Cakes by Rose and Etsy shop Couture Silicone Molds. Today I'm going to show you guys how I made these beautiful ruffle flowers. So let's get started. We need our round cutter, and this is by Ateco. We also need our flower former, some gum paste, Crisco, some edible glue, strips of parchment paper, which you can see there. I've cut it into about 1.5-inch square. I also need my palette knife, my brush, scissor, and the rolling pin. So let's get started. We're going to start with a ball of gum paste that I have pre-rolled so thin that you can see my board through it. So if you guys look closely, you can see the line of my board through my rolled gum paste. So we're going to take our circle cutter, the big circle cutter, and this is 3 inches in diameter. I also have a little circle cutter right here, and this is about 3.5 centimeters in diameter. So I'm gonna cut a big circle right there, press it down, and turn it sideways, back and forth. And then I'm also gonna cut my little circle disc. Now, we're gonna make this flower first, this one, okay? So, to make that flower, we're going to cut this into half. And I'll use my palette knife to cut that into half, okay? So right there. Rest it and set it aside. And then we're gonna take our parchment paper that was cut into 1.5 inches in diameter, or well, you guys know what I mean. And then we're gonna fold it like so, and we're gonna cut a little circle. We're going to put that right there on top of our flower former, and we're going to lift our little round disc and put it right on top of it. Now the reason why I'm doing that, why I'm placing the parchment paper right on top of my flower former, is because I don't want my flower to stick on my flower former. And believe me, it will stick in this hot, humid weather because I've done it yesterday and I've ruined several flowers. So then we're gonna brush that with a little bit of edible glue. Just a little bit, you don't need a lot. Alright, so then we're gonna use the ones that I have pre-cut earlier. This kind of ruffle flower, it does better when your circles or your half circles are a little bit drier. So pre-cut it, let it sit for about 5 minutes before you start making the flowers, okay? So this is what you guys need to do. This is the half circle, and I'm going to take this end and I'm going to make some little ruffles at the very end right there. And then when I get to the end, I'm gonna pinch the end just like that. Right there. So we're gonna work on making, and you need about 5 of this. Just gonna keep working until we finish this flower. Alright, so pinch, and then I want you guys to overlap right there. And this is very easy. You can make one of this flour in less than 5 minutes. There you go, and we're almost done. And this time, because that's the last petal, we're gonna lift this corner right here, and we're going to overlap. And we're just gonna press it down just like so. Alright, so that's what it looks like, unfinished, because we're going to finish that off with a little button. Now to finish it off, I have these sugar buttons that I had pre-made yesterday, and it's completely dry. I also brushed it with luster dust. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna brush some edible glue at the bottom of that, and we're going to press it down in the middle or in the center of that flour. And the good thing about preparing your sugar button way in advance, like about 24 hours before you need to use it, it's because it dries so hard that you can press down on it, and it's not gonna alter those fine details. So that's the finished product of that little flower right there. All right, so now to get started on this one, we're also gonna need a gum paste that was cut round, and I have pre-cut 5 pieces of this earlier, and the same thing, I used the 3 inches in diameter round cutter. So put your parchment paper right there, and then your little gum paste disc. Brush that with some edible glue, and we're going to put it right in the middle, right on top of your gum paste, your parchment paper. Now we're going to take our gum paste that was cut round, and this is what I want you guys to do. I want you to fold this in half, but look what I'm doing. I'm not actually, this part right here is not completely reaching that part. See what I'm doing? This way, you're gonna have a layered look without doing that extra bit of work. All right, so there you go. And then we're going to take one end, and we're going to do the same thing that we did earlier with our other flower. And when you get to the end, you pinch the bottom, just like so. We're gonna lay it right there and press down. And these flowers are so easy. Okay, so fold it just like so. So as you can all see, we've got that layered look, but we only have to do the ruffle flower once. We don't have to put the second layer on top of the first one. And this saves you a lot of time. So the same way we're gonna overlap. So you're taking that one end and you're gonna put it on top of where you left off. Sorry guys if you can hear loud banging on the background. That's my little 5 years old. I have to banish her upstairs when I'm doing some tutorials, otherwise you're gonna hear her on the background. This is sticking. So we're on the 5th petal. And the same way we did earlier, we're going to take the end of your first petal and we're going to overlap it. And press it down. Now, at this point, you can kind of arrange your petals the way you want it to look. It's my videographer trying to giggle at the background. And then you press the middle of your ruffle flower, and that's your unfinished ruffle flower right now. Now you can take, I'm gonna use the bigger button because I feel like we have some rough edges right there that we need to cover, and this is your chance to cover that up. Alright, so I'm gonna put it right in the middle and I'm going to press down on that. And since I have pre-made my button 24 hours ago, it's completely dry, it's nice and hard, and I won't be altering the details on it when I press hard on it. So that's the finished flower. There you go. So it's very easy. You guys can do this in about less than 5 minutes. Each of these flowers can be done in less than 5 minutes. Alright, so that's how I made those pretty ruffled flowers. This is Rose again from Couture Cakes by Rose. See you all guys later. Bye bye.